With your CIGTV News Update, I'm April Cummings in for Donna Bush. Cayman Islands Fire Service Chief David Hales provides an update after tyre aggregate catches fire at a local condominium complex on South Sound Road.
During checks this morning at South Sound site, fire officers noted 4 hotspots. These were marked and are currently being dug out and cooled. As the smouldering areas are not progressing into fully developed fires, there is no naked flames and very little smoke issuing from the area. As such, the situation poses no risk to members of the public or surrounding properties. The Cayman Islands Fire Service continues to monitor the situation and is liaising with site owners. A fire safety inspector has visited both sites and carried out inspections. A report will be presented to site owners in due course.
Cayman Islands Fire Service Chief David Hales. No one was hurt in the incident, and officials say at no time did the fire pose a danger to persons or property in the area. The Honorable Roy McTaggart says the Cayman Islands government is committed to ensuring civil servants receive quality development opportunities to ensure the country stays at the top of its game.
But one thing that hasn't changed over the years is that the public's expectations of us as public servants, it grows every day. And there are new demands, and there are always calls for better and more government services. And it's for this reason that government really prizes its historical relationship with the Caribbean Development Bank and the excellent opportunities that they afford us, and for our people, especially our civil servants.
Minister McTaggart made his remarks at this week's training on public policy analysis and management and project cycle management. Minister McTaggart expressed thanks not only to organizers and trainers, but also to attendees.
I firmly believe this morning that you all are doing the best thing you could ever do to help yourselves progress, to upskill yourselves, learn new things, and to help broaden your vision and perspective on public service and whatever other topics it is you're going to be doing. One of the best things you could ever do. And I commend you all for taking the initiative and taking advantage of the opportunities.
Some 17 people are participating in the training, which is provided by the Caribbean Development Bank in partnership with the portfolio of the Civil Service. Trainers came from the UK and from across the Caribbean. The Fall Labor Force Survey starts on Sunday. Details from Radio Cayman's Carsley Fuller.
The Economics and Statistics Office conducts the Labor Force Survey, which is looking to collect data on employed and unemployed people in Cayman, as well as those who are not in the labor force. About 1,500 randomly selected households are scheduled for participation in the survey, which will be conducted by trained interviewers. The ESO is thanking households who have already participated in the previous surveys and is now asking for the support of the general public in this 2018 exercise. The data collected is kept in strictest confidence as mandated by the statistics law. Individual data will not be published or used outside the Economics and Statistics Office and is exempted from the Freedom of Information Act. Reporting for Radio Cayman News, I'm Carsley Fuller.
For more information and to see results of prior surveys, visit eso.ky. Inspecting all the country's schools is no easy task, but public and private inspectors in training are getting the skills they need to tackle the job. Last week, a group worked on learning various aspects of the inspection process using a variety of techniques. Office of Education Standards Director Peter Carpenter tells CIGTV about how the training works.
We start from the process of a typical lesson observation. What do you look for and how do you make a judgment, and what sort of things do you do and what sort of things should you not do? But inspection is about watching lessons. It's also looking at data, examination information. We meet with parents, so it's how to conduct an interview with parents and members of the community. In the private school sector, we also meet with the Board of Trustees or the Chair of Governors or the Chair of the PTA, so conducting interviews in that context. Meeting with students, we go through all of the types of activities that are characteristic of the process, and we train them to make sure they make robust, fair, accurate judgments, not on their personal preferences. It's about the framework and making evaluations that are consistent from one school to the next.
Mr. Carpenter says they are very excited about the team of inspectors that are engaged in the training, and they are looking forward to the future.
What's very exciting and I'm particularly pleased about is that we're building a team of local Cayman inspectors who will join us on the inspections. These are colleagues who are currently working in schools, either as principals or as school improvement officers in the private sector and public, and we're training them to be inspectors so that they will join us initially to watch what we're doing and learn about the business of inspection, so that in 2019 we can start deploying these colleagues into inspections to support us going forward.
Office of Education Standards Director, Mr. Peter Carpenter. Older Persons Month kicks off on October 1st, but we thought we'd get a jump start on celebrating this year's ambassadors. Here's Marquis McLaughlin.
I am Marquis McLaughlin, in fact, Pastor Marquis McLaughlin, from East End, the district of East End. I've lived there most of my life, except the past 3 years I've been living in the Savannah area. I think I was chosen for the Older Persons Month Ambassador because I spend much of my time trying to help the elderly, children, displaced persons, whatever the case might be, but particularly I enjoy working with the elderly person.
Thank you for joining us for this CIGTV News Update, and remember you can watch us online anytime on the CIGTV YouTube channel. You can also follow us online on Facebook. I'm April Cummings in for Donna Bush.
The Esterly-Tibbetts Highway 3-lane roundabout is ready for drivers. It's time to make sure you know how to use it. First, know which exit you need to take. Pay attention to lane arrows and signs. Make sure you use your signal to change lanes or exit the roundabout. To turn left, you always approach in the left-hand lane and indicate left. To drive straight ahead, you need to be looking out for signs and road markings indicating which lane to use. Get in one of the lanes marked with a straight-through arrow. If turning right, you must use the right-hand lane and indicate accordingly. To use the roundabout safely, remember these 3 tips. Know your exit, pick your lane, and signal to make your turn.
Did you know your mailing address details on your land register must be up to date in order to receive notices on new development which may impact you? Visit Lands and Survey Department to check your mailing address is correct. Did you know that walls, fences located along the road require planning permission no matter the height? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required. Did you know that fences and walls within the high water setback require planning permission no matter the height? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required. Did you know that a trellis structure requires planning permission? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required. Did you know that a deck more than 6 inches above finished grade requires planning permission? Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know that planning permission is required for a sign? Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required? Did you know you should check with the department before leasing a property or unit for a business as a planning and permit application may be required?